Hey guys, welcome to Bow Hunting Soul. Excuse me, I'm still getting a bit of over a cold, so if I cough through this, I apologize. I'm traveling right now for work, but I wanted to keep the videos rolling, and I wanted to do a quick little video, like my hotel room here, quick little video on my favorite multi-tool, which is the Leatherman PS4 Squirt. Now, the multi-tool thing is very subjective. Some people, like certain aspects of, for what they're looking for out of them. Some people, want pliers. Some people don't. Some people like a knife. Some people like scissors. Some people like whatever. This is my favorite. It's my favorite multi-tool across the board because it is the one I carry all the time. This thing's always with me. It's always in this, this little pocket right here. Okay, I don't know what the garment industry calls that pocket. I think it's the like a key pocket or coin pocket or something like that. I don't know. Anyway, but this is always with me, or it's in my cargo shorts. It's super light. It's meant to be. I guess it's technically a keychain tool, but it's a little bit, for me, it's a little bit kind of little too bulky and a little too heavy to be on my keychain. But I don't mind carrying it in my pocket. And this thing is always on me unless I'm flying, and in which case I use one of the other Leathermans, which is the PS style. I can't remember. It's the one that's TSA approved that doesn't have a knife. Anyway, so I like this thing because it's super compact and it has all the things that I actually use on it. Again, it's all subjective. Some people say, well, I don't have use for pliers. I don't have use for a screwdriver. Well, I do. The pliers are really good pliers. You can, they're spring loaded, so they kind of open up in your hand. Okay. They've got cutters in the middle. You're not going to cut your way out of like a barbed wire fence with this thing. Obviously, this is for smaller wires and things like that. Maybe even zip ties and stuff. But it worked out really well. I've never actually busted any of these. The pliers have they actually come to, if I can look at it, if you can look at right here, maybe like that. See the tip? They kind of come to, the tip actually closes, whether you can see that or not. The tip actually closes first, and it's really useful as tweezers. Very close to tweezers. Not as good as like a dedicated set of like spring steel sharpened tweezers, but they do the job. This doesn't have tweezers with it. A lot of multi-tools, the tweezers they have, they're too flimsy and they're too bendy. This actually works a whole lot better. So that's basically what we got on the outside. Oh, sorry. It has teeth here. Okay, and like on the front part, well, you can see right there, it has two sets of teeth. This outer set of teeth here near the front, it's more fine, and in the middle here you've got, right here you've got a more coarse set of teeth. Again, if you were to try and crank down this and turn something, a lot of this I think is just cast metal. So this isn't machined out of like solid tool steel or anything like that. So you'd probably, if you put enough torque on this or side load on this, you'd probably bust it. You really have to use these tools within their parameters. Don't get crazy with them, and they'll last you. Except for one, which I'll get to, which I'm not happy about, but I kind of deal with it. Here's the knife. It's got a really, very usable blade. Most times I don't need a blade any longer than this. I don't need, like a 4-inch anything normally. This is not something I'd use hunting, obviously, but every day opening boxes, cutting little things, cutting a little piece of paper, cutting the top off a, gummy bear bag, that's important. So this stuff works really well. It actually comes with a flat grind, but it's only ground on one side, kind of like a sushi knife. Meaning like this side it's like a single bevel. One side is it's not sharpened on. It's not like this. It's more like, here's the back of the blade or one side of the blade, and then it's only sharpened one side. Well, I don't like those kind of grinds. So I actually put a bevel on the other side of it. It takes all of about like 10 seconds on on a like a work sharp sharpener or something like that. It takes no time at all. So the knife, there it is, nothing fancy, it's a knife. Also has a file. File's really good. It's got a fine side over here with only one set of teeth, which is actually finer than this side, which has a crosshatch set of teeth. But this is a coarser. The phone camera doesn't focus very well on that, but it's actually coarser on one side and finer on another side. And okay, if you haven't noticed, it's also cut. The teeth are actually cut along this edge too. So if you're gonna need to like saw into something, let's take our room key card here. If you're gonna actually try to saw into something like that, pretending this is like a piece of metal or maybe some soft wood or whatever, then this actually will help cut into that. This thing works really well to deburr things. I'm constantly around metal. Sometimes I don't have the right tool around, with me for some reason, and I'll just kind of take and like knock the edge off or whatever. It's really handy for kind of small file or sandpaper type situations. You can use it as a nail file too if you wanted to. It works out really well. Again, use it within its parameters. It's a small tool. On the other side, we've got two tools. We've got one, we've got a smaller, this is like what would be called a two-dimensional Phillips bit. Now, Phillips obviously is the plus sign, right? Well, they can't fit that in here. So what they do, this is basically half the plus sign. So you lose some of that. You lose some of that torque. You lose about 50% of the available torque that you have to be able to turn a screw or anything like that. But again, you're not really turning your stuff that's like stuck and rusted in place for 10 years. This is if you're going to I use this all the time to take the battery cover off the back of my daughter's toys, for example. Okay, that fits in kind of nice in there. It's not super deep, but it's usually deep enough to get to do the things that I need it to do. And the other one here is just a flathead screwdriver. Okay, it's like any other flathead screwdriver. It's just beveled a little bit, and with a bottle opener. The bottle opener, of course, isn't like super wide. It only catches one of the little serrations or the little edges of a bottle at a time. So you probably have to do 1, 2, 3 to be able to pop it off. I'm not a big beer drinker or like a fancy beer drinker, so I don't really end up using that very much, and it's not that big a deal. But the little mini screwdriver and another mini screwdriver, it pretty much does what I need it to do. Now, one of my favorite parts of this is it also has a pair of scissors. Now, I'm not that big a fan of large scissors on larger multi-tools. I'll do a review on the Leatherman Wave, which is my favorite big multi-tool, and that has scissors, and I've always made the joke that hey, we're not scrapbooking here. I don't need scissors. Anything I need done with a multi-tool, I can do with the blade, whatever. That goes out the window with a small multi-tool. This thing is really good. If for some reason you snag a nail for your nail, and you just need to clip the edge off, that's great. If you've got an errant straggler nose hair, okay, trust me on this one, snip, it's done. It's for little things like that. It's for cutting I don't know, a bag of something, or if you're on the this particular scissor is also on the multi-tool I was talking about that is TSA approved. So if you're on the plane and you need to cut the top off the little bag of peanuts that they give you, this works really well for that. Okay, this exact scissor is actually on that other one. So those kind of things, yes. What it's not good at is this thing right here. See the right there. This what I'm pointing. This bar. There's a bar right here. Okay. And that bar is this, you see that? That's the spring for the scissors. Well, this bar tends to break. This is my third Leatherman Squirt. Leatherman has a 25-year warranty. You send it in, and it's easier for them to just send you a whole brand new one than it is for them to replace it, because this is a riveted tool. You can notice these are rivets. They're not screws. So they're not gonna like unrivet the thing. They can't really drill rivets out, that kind of thing, reassemble it just to give you, you know, one of these, which I think is I don't know. I think it's wasteful. I had my old one for probably about 4 years. The one before that, I had it for a couple years, and the same thing. The scissors break. The scissor spring breaks, and and whether Leatherman knows it or not, I'm sure they do, because they keep saying, well, it's within the parameters of failure rates, blah blah blah. Okay, that's fine, but I mean, how much is it costing them to send out a whole brand new one of these versus just being able to change the design maybe and being able to replace the spring steel, or make that spring steel better and not have any failures at all? So anyway, so this is my third one. So that's my biggest beef with that. It's a common problem with these things. Diehard Leatherman fans will vehemently defend, like, well, there's tens and thousands of these sold, and you only hear about the bad ones. Well, yeah, but it's a problem. It's a problem, and so don't deny that it's not. And it's a thing that can be fixed, and it's an annoyance, because I really do like those scissors. So anyway, other than that, I just got this one a couple weeks ago, so it's all nice and shiny. Give it a while. This will get faded because, well, just from use and sitting in my pocket and stuff and just rubbing it, the finish will kind of dull and kind of whiten out a little bit. I don't care. So if you take care of this thing and don't go crazy with it, this thing is around all the time. You'll use it all the time, and yeah, this might become one of your favorite ones too. There's other ones in the category. There's Gerber's. Not a fan of Gerber products. I've had a couple of the Gerber dimes. I really won't go into how terrible a design they are and how hard they are to open and that kind of stuff. So if you're looking for this stuff, I'll leave a link below. I am an affiliate with Amazon. So if you are interested in purchasing any of this or anything else actually through Amazon, I would appreciate it if you actually follow the link below, go through, and then go about your shopping, and then I get eensy weensy commission, and yeah, that's pretty much it. So let me know what your favorite multi-tool is. I'd like to hear your comments, and if you actually do use this, what's the most common use you have for this thing? For me, I use the knife the most, and then the scissors the most. So anyway, like, share, subscribe, and thank you for joining me in my hotel room. I'll talk to you guys later.